Welcome to the Dallas Camera Club December 2012 monthly competition results program. Our theme for this month was sports, defined as an image capturing a sport in action. The sport must be an organized event such as Special Olympics, Little League, a sporting club, a marathon, high school or professional sports event. Our print judge for this month is Guy Reynolds from the Dallas Morning News.
I'm Guy Reynolds. I'm a photo editor and sometimes photographer still at the Dallas Morning News.
Beginner's color prints. Dutch Oven delivers.
Dutch Oven delivers. Since I am a sports photo editor and I recognize all the Texas Rangers and Derek Holland, I thought it was an interesting title. As far as the picture goes, shooting pictures of pitchers is one of the most difficult things because they're so repetitive. And quite frankly, pictures of pitchers, a man throwing a ball, as I call them, they're just rather boring pictures. And this one, the time of day this was shot really hurts this because he has no eyes from the shadow. Compositionally, it's okay. It's nice and tightly framed. And the print quality is okay. It's a little flat. But it's just a picture of a pitcher winding up to throw a pitch and therefore lacks impact.
2 for impact, composition, and technique for a total of 6 points. Morris Stein. Minnesota Twins at Texas Rangers.
Another ball game shot from a Rangers game, shot from up in the stands. You have to consider that I'm pretty highly critical of Texas Rangers baseball photos since I edit them all the time. I like the framing on this, and I like the idea of shooting the pitcher from behind, which we do occasionally. This one was not a long enough lens to minimize the screen that's there, so it looks almost like a texture pattern over it. And this is, in my opinion, is way over sharpened, or some kind of blur effect put on this that really detracts from it.
2 for impact, 4 for composition, 1 for technique, for a total of 7 points. Julie Horak. Now that's using your head.
I thought this was a very colorful picture from an FC Dallas game, but to be a successful sports photo, it needs to minimize the background and accentuate the action, and that's where this fails, in that the background and the foreground elements all merge together here, and it's hard to pull the action out from the background. It looks like this was shot from up in the stands, and that's part of the problem. Of course, if you don't have a press pass, you're not going to be down on the sidelines shooting this anyway. But it's a nice print. It's a nice, colorful picture. If the point is if you're wanting to show that it's a crowded scene at the soccer game, which sometimes that's something we would have to do, then it works okay. But usually when we're doing something like that, we're trying to show that an event is underattended. We have to shoot pictures of empty stands at the Stars games and the soccer games and stuff when the attendance is off.
2 for impact, 2 for composition, 4 for technique, for a total of 8 points. Richard Stern. Race for the Cure.
I recognized this as being actually the same group of runners that was in a black and white image that I thought was considerably better than this one. This is just a wider shot, but well done too. The composition is nice. There's just something about shooting runners that it's not a highly competitive sport, but it's a highly visual sport. It's just it's a nice overall picture. It's a successful picture.
2 for impact, 3 for composition, 3 for technique, for a total of 8 points. Susan Burciaga. Sliding Home.
This was a play at the plate during a Rangers game. The moments there, unfortunately, it's from the wrong side to be a real impactful picture because it's just the guy's backs. A picture like this would be better from the first base side. The problem with this for me was shot from up in the stands and blown way up, way beyond what this picture could handle. As far as the composition, it's nice. It could have been cropped from the top. There's a strong white highlight on a bar in the background that is easily minimized by a little stronger crop because you've already cropped this a lot. You might as well crop it a little more.
3 for impact, 3 for composition, 2 for technique, for a total of 8 points. Michael Rivera, lighting up the unfolding drama down below.
This picture I don't understand at all in this competition because it has nothing to do with sports action. It's just a picture of a light pole and a fence at a softball or baseball field or football field. I don't know. There's no context. Compositionally, it's a very interesting picture. I like the picture compositionally, but as far as being in a sports action contest, I don't think it belongs.
1 for impact, 4 for composition and technique, for a total of 9 points. David Stiff, look, Mom, no feet.
Look, Mom, no feet's a nice picture, which unfortunately it would have benefited a lot from the photographer having been in a little different position to get rid of the tower structure that's over to the right. But the focus is perfect, and there's, other than that tower to the right, the background elements are nice where the tree and the sky is clear. Well, they nailed the focus on this, and the contrast in the print is nice, but the tower, it either needed to be out when it was shot or cropped.
3 for impact and composition, 4 for technique, for a total of 10 points. Chris Kobos, Peloton at Mountain Pass.
I thought this was a nice bicycle race photo. This one, in comparison to the previous one that I saw that looked like the guys were not racing at all, and this one it looks like they're a little more in a little more of a competitive moment, and it's very tightly composed. The composition's nice, and the overall print quality is nice on this. There's no distracting elements in the background on this one. The angle the photographer chose to minimize that with the background on that curve is very good.
3 for impact, 4 for composition and technique, for a total of 11 points and honorable mention. Pat Camp, Close Call.
I thought this was a pretty nice youth baseball picture in that compositionally it's very clean. The background is clean. It's a longer lens that helps. What I can't quite figure out is there's the ball's not in the picture, or maybe actually the ball is in the picture. It's in the kid's glove. It's just a nice moment in a little youth baseball game where you got the action. It's a nice action picture where something has happened there, and based on the title, Close Call could go either way. But it's a pretty nice little baseball picture with the one kid reacting who's standing up and wasn't involved in the play. Tightly composed again. The crop doesn't bother me that the kid's part of the glove is missing and part of the fingers are missing. Overall, pretty successful shot from a youth baseball game.
3 for impact, 4 for composition and technique, for a total of 11 points and 3rd place. Penny Clark, Woman in Ditch.
Well, I don't know what this is. It's not wrestling. It's not mud wrestling, but it is people in the mud. And I'm not familiar with what this sport or what this event is, but it's some kind of extreme thing. One of the guys at work takes part in this stuff. I thought this was a nice picture compositionally, with a person on the left coming out of the tube where the competitor on the right is already out and splashing through the mud. The high shutter speed freezing the action, the little mud balls in the air and stuff. But I thought, as far as impact goes, that this probably isn't the best moment that could come from an event like this. She's too clean. Maybe this is just too early in the competition and she's not down and dirty enough. But she does have there's a nice face. Overall, the print's nice. I would like to have seen the take on this and see if there was a better moment in there than this particular one.
4 for impact, composition, and technique, for a total of 12 points and 2nd place. Michael Farnham, Running to Daylight.
From a youth football game, I thought this was a perfect picture from a youth football game. The composition is very strong. The crop to make this a strongly horizontal photo with action from left to right filling the frame with nothing extraneous here. If anything, there could have been a little stronger crop from the top to get rid of the roof line in the back, but it's very clean anyway. It doesn't bother. The moment here, there's no contact between the runner and the defenders, yet they're all around him, so the moment is just before he's about to be hit, and it actually works very well because of that, where he's kind of centered, and all these there's like 6 defenders collapsing around him, and the referee in the background eyeing the action also adds another little element to this picture. The angle on this is perfect because it minimizes. There's nothing in the background that detracts from this picture at all. There's not a bunch of fans or other players or anything in the background to take away from this picture. I really like this picture from the junior football game.
3 for impact, 4 for composition, 5 for technique, for a total of 12 points and first place. Advanced color prints. Waylon Threadgill, Day at the Races.
One of several photos I saw from Lone Star Park, which isn't the best place to make horse racing photos, especially at the finish line, because the scoreboard can be a bit distracting. And here it actually doesn't hurt it too badly because the horse is framed in between the numbers and the letters on the background, so it separates a little bit. I thought this was a little too contrasty in the print, and compositionally I thought it could have used some cropping from the top and the right. Could have helped this clean this up a little bit. The moment's good. The horse hoops up in the air, but there's just something about the overall contrast of this that pulls it down a little bit.
4 for impact, 3 for composition, 4 for technique, for a total of 11 points and honorable mention. Philip Johnson, Eye on the Ball.
I don't know whether this was a competitive tennis or not, but it's wheelchair tennis, obviously. But the moment is perfect in the title. Not necessary, but obviously that is his eye on the ball. You know, the moment's perfect because of that. Rather, he's not swinging, he's preparing to swing, and I like that. And the composition is helped by that with the racket in the lower left, and it's got a triangular composition to it because of that. The print quality is very nice. It's kind of flat, and that actually helps. It's not overly contrasty. I think compositionally it could have been a little looser at the bottom. You could have used a little more of the wheelchair to get that point across that it's a handicap tennis action. I'm assuming it's a competition, but very nicely done with a telephoto lens, clean background.
4 for impact, 4 for composition, 4 for technique, for a total of 12 points and 3rd place. Steve Reeves, In the Lead.
Another horse race photo, and a creatively done horse race photo with a panning, slow shutter speed, and the pan at the same time. It's an almost, in that there's nothing really sharp here, but it's okay because of that too at the same time. It's like, I don't know, I'm kind of torn with wanting something sharper in here, but at the same time I like the overall effect. The pan is nice, the blur is nice, and you know, it's unfortunate that there's that rail there, but there's a rail in every horse race. So and I like the fact that the lead horse is considerably ahead of the other two horses. It makes for a stronger composition that way.
4 for impact, composition, and technique, for a total of 12 points and second place. Gary Coles, First Grade Stars.
I thought this was from a youth football game, and this is a flag football instead of tackle football. This is an overall pretty much perfect picture from this event. The composition side to side, top to bottom is perfect. Telephoto lens dropping the background elements out of focus was very good, although I can't tell whether that was done. It actually looks like it might have been done somewhat in post, but it was done pretty well for a print competition. And the moment's perfect. It takes a little bit of studying to get to the moment where the tackler, the defender, has the running back's flag. I guess it's what it's called, and this looked like flag football. But it's perfect. His eyes are on it. He's got a hold of it, and he's pulling on that. It's a perfect moment from this event. And again, the composition, the framing on this is just perfect.
4 for impact, 5 for composition, 5 for technique, for a total of 14 points and first place. Masters Color Prints. Houston Brown, Concentration.
I gave this only an honorable mention because it strikes me as a setup picture, more of a sports card type photo than a competition photo. If there's competition going on here, I certainly don't see it in this picture. But as far as a successful picture of this kid, it's very well done. Long lens, the moment's good, the facial expression is perfect with the tongue out. I mean, you can't ask for any better than that. If you get a face like that in a sports photo, you know, you've really gotten lucky. The reason I think there's not competition here, there's nothing in the background that lends any idea that this is competition at all. If this is a setup photo, it's fine. If it is from a competition and I've misjudged that, I apologize.
3 for impact, 4 for composition, 4 for technique, for a total of 11 points and honorable mention. Tom Marusa, Jogging Across the Bridge.
Hooray for our new $100 million bridge. It makes for a nice picture. On the whatever race it is now, they're now going to route the White Rock Marathon's changed names to the Dallas something or another, and they will be running over this. So we will be seeing these pictures more often. The use of a wide-angle lens and the low angle to compose this with the bridge, you know, took some forethought and some execution. It's very well done. And you've got a little bit of the moment with the 3 runners in the foreground that lend to the composition, and the moment with the man foot up in the air. It's a well-done picture.
3 for impact, 4 for composition and technique, for a total of 11 points and third place. Harry Rumberger, Eluding the Tackle.
It's a very nice high-impact sports action photo. Background of cars, at a park, but they're out of focus. It's a long enough lens where that helps. There's nothing else that detracts from the picture. It's compositionally perfect from side to side. Could have come down a little from the top, and it would have got rid of one of the white cart entirely with a little tighter crop. The action, it's peak action photo. The body language is all there with the body contact with just one hand on the guy's shoulder. Overall, it's a successful sports photo.
4 for impact, composition, and technique, for a total of 12 points and second place. Frank Richards, Mile 21 Climb.
Again, another running photo, but this is this is as good as it gets on a marathon photo or half marathon or whatever distance this race is. The framing on this, the low angle on this, and the very shallow depth of field, the sharpness on this, there's a plane of focus in this that makes it perfect. The woman who's in the lead, her shoe is sharp as a tack, and you go straight across, and the grass on the ground is as sharp as a tack on that plane. And there's enough depth of field in it to also make it successful where it's not just completely out of focus, blur in the background. The runners are sharp enough, and the shutter speed is slow enough where the rain is captured, yet it's fast enough where the action is frozen. So the technical quality here is very good, and compositionally it's perfect. I love the fact that there's a lot of empty foreground road, out of focus wet road in it that helps get across the raininess aspect of it, and the tree above it frames it. The fall color, I guess it's fall color or winter color trees in the background that's out of focus. This is pretty much a perfect picture from a marathon.
4 for impact and composition, 5 for technique, for a total of 13 points and first place. Dennis Fritchie, Fishing on Golden Pond.
This is my judge's choice because this is just a gorgeous photograph, but there's something about fly fishing that I don't consider a competitive sport. This is a pretty canned event where the photographer was able to compose this, pick the position to shoot this from, to make this a beautiful picture. The backlight, the early morning, I'm assuming it's early morning fog coming off the river, and the glistening sunlight on the river. Strong composition. It's just a beautiful picture overall. I love the picture. I just don't think that it's a competitive sport, so I didn't place it because of that, but it certainly gets a judge's recognition.
1 for impact, 5 for composition, 5 for technique, for a total of 11 points, and our Color Print Judge's Choice Award.